Days at 2 here on Local 3.
Oh, we are getting into the season where all of us are going to be so excited to leave the inside of our homes and go outside to enjoy the beautiful fall weather. And when you do, you want to make sure that your deck primarily is safe for you and those you love. So luckily for us, Aaron Caldwell is on the show this morning. He, of course, has Caldwell Homes. And this morning on your mind was general kind of home safety and what you can do to make sure people are ready for this happiest of seasons we're heading into.
Yes, I wanted to make people aware of just some problems that I've seen over the years as I've worked on decks and homes in general.
Well, let's talk about the decks for a minute, because
Yeah.
we were sharing some stories. And so often you kind of get used to something at your house that you don't really realize the problem that is there.
That's right. As these decks age, they've been out in the weather. Many of them are uncovered and just have treated wood, which swells, expands, has people on it all the time with events and parties. And also folks that have moved into a new home and may not know how that deck was built initially. I've seen decks that were built by homeowners that may not have had a lot of training or known what they needed to do to make that a secure structure. So we've seen issues, the most issues on homes with decks, everywhere from proper footings underneath the posts, or being overspanned and joists starting to sag, getting real bouncy. If they weren't secured correctly on the band boards, I've seen decks where the joists are pulling away and there's actually been large inch and a half gaps, and we've had to tell folks, please don't be on this deck. This is a dangerous situation.
Is there a general rule of thumb, Aaron, if you have a deck that was built, I mean, the longevity of a deck, is there a general rule of thumb what that is?
On a treated deck, if it's not well taken care of, and they will need the most care yearly, they should be treated with a waterproofer, which, let's be honest, most people don't do, and because it's just inconvenient, you're busy, and that's hard to keep up with. They should be restained every 3 to 5 years just to keep wood from rotting. But a treated deck, 10 years, maybe 15, they're probably going to need some major work or look at replacing deck boards on top.
Okay.
Bolting to the house is a major concern. We want to make sure. I've seen some that were just nailed and weren't fully secured to the house structure itself, and that's a big concern.
Okay.
You don't want that
So
falling.
if you've either already owned a home and the deck was built 10 or 12 years ago, you better call somebody.
Yep. I would also recommend looking at your handrails. The pickets are often nailed to the exterior, and those nails can rust over the years. That wood can rot over the years, and that's an area where kids, dogs are going to push on those things. You're going to trust that handrail to protect you and keep you in.
Right.
And I've seen those get very loose, and obviously we don't want anybody to fall and get hurt.
Let's switch gears a minute. This is a good time to be thinking about your fireplace. Eventually it will be cool enough to have a fire. Having those inspected is really important.
Very important. Over the last few years, I've seen, unfortunately, a few houses that have burned to the ground because of poor maintenance in those fireplaces. As we've now, in the old days, the fireplace flues were very large, and it was only wood burning, so you had only that happening in the fireplace. The contaminants that get on the flue were not as close because they were farther apart, and they were all of a concrete type structure. Now we have metal and wood and those things that are making tighter flue pipes. And we also have folks that have sometimes transferred a wood-burning fireplace to gas, or from gas to wood. And you want to keep those inspected. If that soot builds up, you can have a fire situation.
So do you do those inspections at Caldwell?
I do not do those inspections, but
Okay.
it is something I wanted to point out. We do handle decks and exterior issues.
Okay.
But I do want to point that out, let folks know there are additives you can buy just to put in the fire every couple times that will help clean those flue pipes. But
If you have a
particularly
wood
if
burning?
Particularly if it's a new house, you might want to have it inspected just to make sure nobody's done a conversion that you don't know about, and take care of that space.
I have about a minute or so left. Is there anything else that we should be looking at this season for protection?
Well, in safety, always look at areas where water is going to affect gutters and fascia boards. But, you know, as a new home builder, I'll just plug, you know, tornado safety as we look at the tornado season and hurricane season rolling in the coast. We do build our concrete ICF homes that will withstand up to 250-mile-an-hour winds and give you that security and safety.
That's
in your home.
typically what he's here talking about. So when we share with you his website, if you go on it, you'll see what these homes look like that he is building. These am I saying it right?
ICF.
ICF,
correct.
interlocking concrete forms. Is that what it stands for?
Insulated concrete
Insulated,
forms.
sorry, I'll get it right one day. Insulated concrete forms. They save you money on your energy costs. They are ridiculously weatherproof. And then what you get back on it financially is just unexplainably good.
Yeah.
So you can find out more at mycaldwellhomes.com, and there was his phone number you saw as well. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Julia, what are you doing? We have a commercial to film.
I'm taking a break.
Breaks are over. Tell